Good evening, folks.
Hello, hello, and Sal is in the green room.
Awesome. Well, great. Well, then we'll just go ahead and get started. As folks can see, I've got my cool glasses I found detecting this weekend. But I'm going to have to take them off to read. But if you find them, you got to wear them.
That's
Anyway,
right.
folks, we got an exciting show tonight, and I'm going to get started right away with, of course, the disclaimer. Today's show, folks, is brought to you by your friends at Myers Metal Detectors, where we sell fun and adventure. And the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed here on Treasure Talk by the guests and members belong solely to the guest and member, and not necessarily to Phil Myers, Johnson Myers, Jeff Monin, or Myers Metal Detectors. And of course, the purpose of Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of metal detecting and treasure hunting and to educate our members in a fun, informative manner. Whew, that's a mouthful.
Indeed, it is. That's a mouthful. That
Yes,
is a
it is.
mouthful. So, just a quick note for all you people watching on Facebook. You'll notice right above our stream on Facebook, it says, I'm streaming live on StreamYard. Click here to give permission to use your name. What that does is that helps me see who's on Facebook. It puts your name out there. That's all it does. So I can see that your name, like Mike Mayo. Hi, Mike. You're here watching on Facebook. Another one I've got a Facebook user. It says I've only found junk this past weekend. So, I'd just like to see your name is the thing. So, and there's a number of people that are joining us. We want to say hello to everybody. Something we're going to do tonight is we got a message here from Wendy Kraus. Phil, she won the F-44. She needs
Yes,
headphones, so
we can take care of that for it. Just
say
give us
Wendy,
a call.
if he don't have it, you don't need it.
Yeah, just give us a call tomorrow and we'll get it taken
Yeah.
care of for sure.
So something we want to do. I got a notification last Friday, and I was busy all weekend at a granddaughter's wedding. Um, but this is kind of a sad thing. One of our loyal viewers and a great member of Treasure Talk and Treasure Tales, never missed a show, hunted all the time, just a fine fella. He posted religiously all his finds. He always had an encouraging word for everybody that put posts up. All the newbies, he was always there, glad to help and do anything he could for anybody. I got a notification that he passed away suddenly. It was on his birthday, unfortunately. He just up and passed away, and I don't know much more about it other than we've lost him. And so I just got back in to our North Florida studios late this afternoon, so I hadn't had a chance to do anything. But I'm going to put a post on Treasure Talk, the Facebook group, as well as the Blue Spade Society Facebook group. And right now, what I would like to do is if all of you would kind of join with me and Phil in like a little silent moment and pray if you're so inclined for our good friend, Bruce Milligan.
Absolutely.
And we just hope that Bruce is he's gone to glory, and everything he's finding now, he's detecting every day, and every signal's a bucket lister. So
Absolutely.
Bruce,
Streets
we
and gold.
miss you, and you're in the good place now.
Absolutely.
So that being said, I think it's time we get our young fella on here, don't you, Phil?
Absolutely.
I mean, what you got anything else to let people know about?
Me? Do I?
Yeah.
I've got plenty of things to,
Huh?
I was saying hello, honey, to my wife, not to anybody
Uh,
else. So nobody go there. I had to clarify that real quick on Facebook.
yeah, let's. Yeah, well, I think we need to. We need to clarify that.
Yeah,
Otherwise, Jocelyn will snatch you bald headed, boy.
she would. I won't have my COVID here anymore. But
That's right.
anyway, Anyway, folks, Jocelyn is over there on Facebook, so we were just chatting, I guess, on the public line there. I shouldn't have been doing that. But anyway, she was the honey. Anyway, folks, just so you know, I guess this past week, Deus is coming out with the Deus 2, and of course, we're going to stock that at the shop, and it's got some exciting features on it. So if you're wanting to get one of those, just holler at me. I'll put you on the list so you can get one. I've had several people already let me know that they do want one of the Deus 2. And Jeff, yes, is absolutely is one of those because he's got the regular Deus, and for the new features on it, it's going to be a game changer. And also the Naka Macro is they're coming out with their simplex multi-frequency. We don't know the name of it yet, but the leak will for sure advise us on that soon. What night is she doing that? That's this month, right?
Well, they're bringing it out worldwide on the 19th. They're making an announcement. Now we're doing a special show
On Sunday night.
On Sunday night, the 21st, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just our normal time. And Dillick is going to be here, and she's going to answer all your questions. So if you've got questions, make sure that you find the post to list the questions, because there's going to be a bunch of them. And in the chat, that goes by so fast, it may not get asked. But make sure you list your question so Dillick can get it answered. And one lucky person worldwide is going to win the new simultaneous multi-frequency from Naka Macro, because Dillick's giving one away.
Absolutely. And speaking of Naka Macro, of course we've got their Christmas special already in for you folks who like the simplex and you want to give a simplex as a gift to someone. The ones with the wireless headphones for $339 actually come with an extra coil. You've got I think it's their 5x10 coil, which is an awesome land and dirt detector. So
yeah,
you
will have as soon as you can find out when you can have the new simultaneous multi-frequency Naka Macro detector in, you'll have them in stock, won't you, Phil?
Oh, absolutely. As soon as hopefully there won't be any supply chain issues like a lot of the manufacturers are saying right now, but hopefully they'll get them to us quick, and we'll be selling a bunch of those because I know those are going to be really priced right. Naka Macro is known for their pricing. They want to come in and just grab a big chunk of the market. So the consumer wins. No matter what manufacturer, the consumer always wins because it drives the price down and it makes everybody else be more competitive. So
yeah, and I think as long as if Phil has them, as long as you get your order in by the 21st or 22nd of December, chances are you'll get it to him by Christmas.
I sure hope so.
Chances are, I said. I didn't say you would. I said chances are.
Chances, yes, really good chances. Absolutely.
Okay, so I see the Mumbles man just joined us. He's another one that wants a Deus too, by the way.
Yes, he does want a Deus.
He's got a Deus, but he wants a Deus too.
Deus 2, rather, I should say that.
Yeah. Okay, well, I tell you what. Let's. What do you think? We ought to bring our guest on, Phil?
Yeah, you're talking too much, Jeff.
I have been known to do that. So, folks, as you've seen this young man before, he's just a fantastic individual, and I have to tell you, when it comes to scheduling and organizing metal detecting hunts and trips, he's head and shoulders above everybody else in the world. The Mumbles man and myself, Dan Graham, the Grammar Time, we went with him on a trip to England, and he does domestic hunts and all that kind of stuff too. So let's bring him on right now from Digging Hub is Sal Gatuso. Let's bring him on. There you are.
Let me get this camera. There we go. Y'all hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you. I'm just trying to adjust their screen here. Let's see. I don't like that.
Turn him around the other
way.
way.
We go. There we go.
Yeah.
There we are.
All right, Sal. So for the folks who don't know you, real quick, tell us about your business and how long you've been doing it, and tell us where you're at right now and what you're doing.
All right. So so my name's Sal Gatuso. That's Sicilian. I've been doing been doing organized small scale hunts probably about 12 years now. I started doing the England ones probably 4 years into that. So probably a little, about 8 years now in England, and always very small. When I first started, I would just take whoever wanted to go with me, and I didn't even charge. It was just, the internet was still fairly lacking in metal detecting things in general, and the videos were not up. I mean, we started doing videos on YouTube. As I even did videos before YouTube, but started uploading some of the lowest quality metal detecting videos as far as pixelation that you'll ever see. Those, however, were all that they had. I had a little camera that I put on the bill of my hat, and I got a lot of interest in that, Pete, because it was real live digging up targets. I mean, I would edit out all the crap, obviously. Sometimes I'd leave it just to show I dig junk, but it was enough to where people started contacting me, and they wanted to go hunt with me on some land, and I ended up taking people. And then I realized there was a way that I could get on more land by paying landowners a little money, and if I was going to pay landowners, I had to charge. So that's kind of how it started. And so, yeah, and then the whole thing kind of has evolved because I can only do so much without my wife leaving me. I can't metal detect all the time. So the whole premise behind taking history hunts and now offering this digging hub, I think it may, either digging hub is going to be something that's a little ahead of its time yet, or it's going to be something that maybe even never has its time. That's yet to be told. Right now, it's just a concept out there that is, it's gotten a lot of folks to sign up. It's a free thing to sign up, Digging Hub, but the platform is still not being used like it was designed to be used. But we talk about that later. That's kind of how I got into it. And I love the hobby. I love everything about it. I eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff. And right at this minute, I spent all day today. I'm in rural Virginia, and it's this morning it was about 36 degrees. And I went out and I talked to a lot of my landowners. I've got a group of History Hunt Club members coming in. Actually, they're here tonight. I'm going to meet them in the morning at 7 a.m. at the hotel. And you guys will hear it first, even before them. I've got a surprise for them in the morning. We're going to start off at a Confederate fort site in the morning.
Ooh.
I've only ever been there once with a group, and they spent a half a day on it, and we found 2 Confederate buttons that time. So I'm excited to get some more folks back there.
Awesome.
That'll be good. And I have to tell you, having been on a hunt with Sal, with Tim the Mumbles Man and Dan Grammar Time, when he says it's at 7 o'clock in the morning, you're starting at 7 a.m. and you're going all day, son. So you don't be going, let's start about 8:30, let's start at the crack of noon. It don't work on Sal's hunts, I'm going to tell you. But I guarantee you're going to find some stuff.
We try. We don't always find great stuff, but we do. We get the time in, and we try to get on the good spots.
Right. So now you're based out of Florida here now, right?
Well, no, it's hard to keep up. I sold the house in Florida, and we moved back to Mississippi. So these days I'm in just north of Jackson, Mississippi. It works out well. We got family there, but it also, a lot of my land that I have leased is in Mississippi and Louisiana. So for those outings, I don't have to drive 10 hours anymore. For my Virginia outings, I still have to drive 13 hours to get to those. But everybody, there's a lot of history in Virginia. I mean, we have sites over here that we'll be looking at this weekend, or not weekend. We're hunting during the week. And I'm doing that by design because this weekend is when gun deer season comes in. So I got to be out of here before that. But the sites here in Virginia that I have range from the 1650s to the Civil War. And so, and even after the Civil War, but we're not as interested in that. But you can't do that just anywhere in America. Virginia is one of those places you can really have a chance to find some early colonial all the way to the Confederate, the activity that those Confederates had during the last, the last year of the war is what I focus on, really, where I am in Virginia.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, let's talk about the hunts you've done here in the U.S., the Civil War hunts. Uh, you're going tomorrow to a Confederate site. Have you done that before with a group?
Yeah. So this particular property, I just landed about a month ago. I'd been working on it for quite a few years, but I just landed the deal on it. And so I did bring a small group last month for a half a day. Now, in America, it works a lot like we do in England, where on a lot of sites, I'm able to offer you a half a day or a full day, whatever the group decides. And this particular group decided they wanted to see some different, they wanted to see some different real estate. So they spent a half a day on it. They were extremely successful. Like I said, 2 Confederate buttons were found and several bullets and some other relics. But as a group, they decided at 11:45 they wanted to eat lunch and head to the next spot, which we did. That being said, this will only be the second group I've taken on this particular piece of property. And the smart play, honestly, hindsight being 2020, is that, that last group should have spent their whole day there. But it's hard to do that when you're in the heat of the moment, and that's metal detecting. Yeah, if you're there and you've been hunting for a half a day and you're not the guy that found it, you probably want to go look somewhere else. And that's understandable. And, and that's what I'm there for. I try to have enough offerings on these things where I've got more land than I've got half days. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you decide you want to stay on one piece of land for 3 days, this is a 3-day outing. Then you just made my life easier. I'm happy to stay there for 3 days. But, and I'll hunt there for 3 days. I wouldn't put anybody on a place I wouldn't hunt for days on end. But if you want to go to 6 different places, and I'm able to do it. Now, there is some land that's so large, 1,000 acres or better, for example, that I have to, the deal with the landowner is more for a full day. But if you understand 1,000 acres, you understand that that's more than a group of 5, 6 folks could reasonably even cover in a full day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, and the land in America doesn't have the history that the land in England does. So American relic hunting can be difficult, but you just try to put yourself in places where history happened, and you try to put yourself in places where multiple layers of history happen. So I love a big farm that has old road beds, old home sites, possibly good ground, good sandy ground, near water, Native American presence. All of that translates to a better chance of us finding something.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is your average size of your groups?
The groups are generally between 6 and 8 people.
Okay.
However, that being said, I'm doing a really interesting outing in December that has a lot of club members, History Hunt Club members in it. There'll be about 15 folks at that outing because it's a one-time event. I've partnered with a company that does land development. They buy land and then they prepare it for development. They don't develop it, they prepare it, and then they sell it for a premium to the company that's ready to put a subdivision, shopping center, whatever on it. Now, this company has an archaeologist on staff because that's part of land development. You have to check the boxes to make sure you're not building a shopping center on top of a Native American cemetery or something, And so this gentleman that the archaeologist has contacted me, and what we're doing as a group, it's a one-time shot. I wanted to get as many folks as I could reasonably manage. So I chose about 15 folks, 13 or 14 folks. And for a weekend in December, it's all big crop fields that are now fallow because there's no longer crop growing because they're getting ready to develop this. We're going to spend 2 days, and I'm going to have about 3 other gentlemen with me with GPS on a certain app that we use on our phones. And we're going to be the staff that's out there hunting with everyone else. But whenever anyone makes a Civil War related find, because that's what we know is significant about this site, is that it is part of this property, which is 400 acres, was a running Civil War skirmish in Louisiana. And so we're going to try our best to document that for the archaeologists by GPSing all Civil War related finds. And so everyone that makes a find, they're going to contact us on radio or raise their hand if we're close enough, because we'll have bright yellow shirts on, and we'll go and we'll GPS the finds. And this archaeologist is going to compile all of the data for the company that he works for, and then they'll be able to submit that report to the state of Louisiana.
That's interesting. I know here when they do building, they have archaeologists go through it, especially if it's in an area where they think something's at, and they do a site survey on it. And I used to have a friend who metal detected, and he would work for the survey or the site survey company. And a lot of times they wouldn't find a whole lot, but they would only spend, an hour there looking.
Yeah. And so it's almost like they don't want to find something.
Yes.
Yeah. The archaeologist is a real interesting gentleman. He's one of those archaeologists that are not against metal detectorists. He sees the value. And basically he told his employer that if they wanted him to go and do shovel testing on this property of 400 acres, that it would take a lot of time and a lot of his hours, his man hours. And if we were going to do this, if we found some hot spots, he could then focus his area of sifting or whatever, these test holes on the hot spots. And then he'd be able to quickly give the required, whatever it is, to the state. He'd be able to create something that would rule out a lot of dead area. So yeah, and as a result, actually, this worked out really well, and I hope this goes well, because I'll do it in the future. That company is subsidizing this outing for the History Hunt Club members, so they are paying virtually nothing to go, just a small administrative fee. And not only that, it sounds like they're getting a nice gift basket, each of them, and a plaque or something. So,
wait, now will they? We had a question on Facebook. Will they be able to keep their finds?
Well, it's a very good question. And this archaeologist I advertised it as, we're working with archaeologists and everything's going to be cataloged. You'll get pictures, but that's all. And the reason why I advertised it like that was because I've worked with archaeology before, and that was my impression. And I didn't want to make any false expectations.
Right.
Now, because the hunt's right upon us, this archaeologist is now telling me that he thinks he's gotten everything lined up to where all that we'll have to do is allow them to photograph it, and then everyone will get to take home what they find. And I'm still not promising that, but I think there's a really good chance, because he has made the case to them that he has literally boxes of stuff from previous digs that he did for this company that are just taking up room in a storeroom in the office. And he said there's really no need for it. It's not going to end up in a museum. It's private property, so it's not Louisiana property. Right. So it's not mandatory. I told him that the advantage of letting everyone keep their finds, unless they just want to donate, which I don't think he would take it. If he was going to take it, he'd take everything. But I think the advantage of letting folks keep their finds is rather obvious. I think then if someone finds something really rare, you would actually see it. If you told them that they had to turn it in, then maybe if you found a gold dollar, you would be obliged to put it in your pocket, right?
I don't know about that. I think working with the archaeologists is just a cool thing.
No, I think it's great too. And if you've been doing this long enough, I mean, I'd be all right with turning in some Civil War artifacts. Would it be hard for me to turn in a Texas belt plate? Yeah, it would. Yeah. But I think you could get best of both worlds. Hopefully it works out and everybody gets to keep what they found and make a little nice display case. And, we give them some good information, and then these folks get a great experience out of it too. And a feather in your cap for helping out a project too.
Absolutely. I know the St. Pete Metal Detecting Club, they do a hunt every year at Fort DeSoto and they donate all this stuff to the museum there.
Right.
It's a cool thing to do, even if you don't get to keep the stuff, but it's really nice if you do. So that's awesome.
Yeah. I think it'll be neat. Yeah. And you know, the whole digging, I know we talked, you put on there, and I appreciate it, Jeff, that, you know, this was about Digging Hub, and Digging Hub was actually my wife's idea a few years ago. And I told her, you know, I thought it was a really cool idea, and I still think it's a cool idea. And I haven't decided yet if it's ahead of its time or if it will never have a time. It's really been an experiment to this point and an investment. Investment, because anytime, as you guys know, anytime you use software, like whatever you use for this, I mean, I don't know if you have to pay for this, but you have to pay for certain stuff. But that being said, you know, it was built as a way for other folks to kind of enjoy the same satisfaction that I've gotten over the last decade by helping folks, you know, make great finds and enjoy this hobby with my experience and with my connections if they were newer in it. And it was, you know, it was made for folks to do just that, not only to go on hunts, but to be able to put out something there and have someone come and join you and actually pay you to come and lend your experience to that person or whatever. That being said, it was also something where landowners could offer their land up. I had one landowner in Louisiana that's done just that on Digging Hub. He has a plantation, and he's put it out there, you know, $150, come hunt on my property, Civil War plantation. And he's had a few people do it. But the problem with that has been a landowner they don't understand it as well as we do. So a detectorist understands other detectorists, and a landowner, he's been really good where he's tried to cut the fields and stuff before they come. But truly, a landowner doesn't exactly understand what we're after. I mean, a lot of times a landowner will tell me everything looks good, and then if I don't go put my eyes on it, I'll be disappointed when I show up and there's, you know, corn stalks waist high or something, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's Digging Hub. I don't know. I mean, I'll put it out to you guys. You know, here's the thing. Digging Hub, like I said, it's probably got 500 users because it's free to sign up. Free to sign up and free if you're listing a hunt. Now, I've had a couple of individuals list hunts and they did them. I've got a guy that does Native American hunts through there and he's done it. They've done a few. But the only time you pay if you're listing it is if you actually sell a hunt, then I collect 10 or 15% administrative fee. Now, ideally, this thing would become something like Airbnb, but not as big because metal detecting is not as big as lodging, right?
Right.
But Airbnb is a site that all it does, it doesn't sell lodging on its own. It just allows individuals to list. If you got a shed in the back and you want to put people in it for $100 a night, then you could list it on Airbnb. So this was the idea. But the trouble is, and you guys should speak to this because you've been detecting a long time, and maybe the audience can chime in as well. The trouble with this, and maybe the difficulty that I don't realize is not, and I'm not knocking this, not everyone really wants to take other people metal detecting
That's true.
on their sites, right?
Yes.
Not everyone thinks that's a fun thing to do. And I get it. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky thing. And then I've had some folks that would be happy to do it and have really good properties, but they are the types that they say, I just don't want the stress of worrying about whether they find something or not. And, you know, you try to, I still worry. I mean, if I'm on a new site with my folks, I'm like holding my breath until I hear somebody come on the radio saying I found something, because I want them to find stuff.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, I mean, at the end of every one of my hunts, I sleep good. I mean, I have a good conscience about this, because if you have a total poopy hunt, you know, it happens. It happens to all of us. And we have had lean hunts in America and in England. We've had unbelievable hunts. I mean, we had one hunt where 1/2 hour they found 4 Civil War belt plates. I mean, it was unbelievable. We had one hunt where they found a half a dozen in 3 days. A small group found half a dozen rare Confederate buttons, and then on the very last day, they found 6 pieces of Spanish silver in a different field. So you just don't know. And I mean, you can't make this stuff up. We have had days where we just had a 4-day hunt, and the boys found 4 Confederate buttons. They found some nice bullets, did not find a single silver coin. Usually I'm sorry. They did find modern silver coins, a barber quarter and a mercury dime, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about seeded silver or earlier stuff or Spanish. Anyway, it's a real thing. And so I don't feel bad at the end of the day. And I used to apologize if people had bad hunts, but I try not to do that anymore. I just, and you've heard it before from organized hunts. And I've always felt this way, is that I cannot predict the weather, and I can't predict whether or not you'll find anything. But, lucky for us, we've had some pretty nice weather. That England was great, except for it was a little bit warm almost.
Yeah. It
was
was
a little dry. But anyway, it could have been rainy. So, but anyway,
Well,
what do y'all?
And talk more about History Hunt Club.
Yeah, man. I mean, you guys give me some feedback on that. If you get feedback on your comments, because I can't see them, y'all give me some feedback on that digging hub, because that's one that I've been pondering whether or not it was a mistake to even do the thing. I think it's got potential, but the Hunt Club, the History Hunt Club, we keep that at about 100 members, and that actually will be opening up again here soon, probably this month, around Thanksgiving or somewhere thereafter. I'll open that up again. And again, just 100 members. We always let the current members re-up if they want, but we always do have some attrition. And we try to keep that very affordable and, to where it's not a hardship for folks, and it gives you a much better chance at getting in on the hunts. I mean, I've had more new folks be able to join in on the hunt since we started doing it that way. And then you also get first chance at these special events like this archaeology project. That right there, it filled up really fast. And I have about as many people waitlisted as I have in the actual hunt. But that only went out to the club, because I can't open stuff up to everybody because we just don't have enough space.
Right. Well, sign me up and send me the bill.
I will, buddy. I appreciate y'all, and we'll get you guys a publicity pass on it. You won't have to pay to be in the club. But yeah, and don't forget, I'm giving away 2 of those books. So y'all give that away whenever you want. Just make sure I get the person's information so I can mail it to them.
Yep. As soon as we see the thing scrolling across the bottom, we know it's giveaway time.
Y'all are fancy.
Kind of like hammer time, but it's giveaway time.
Yeah, but the club's been decent. I mean, I feel like that we've got some really good folks, and I think I'll keep that going. The only way I would if I did anything with the club, it would be if, for whatever reason, like it didn't turn out this way because of COVID, but I was worried about it, that if that COVID would have gotten worse and worse, I probably would have kept everyone in the club just at no charge, and then just say, we'll do what we can. But if I feel like in a given year I'm not going to be able to deliver a good number of outings for folks to choose from, then I would probably just pause the membership, let folks stay in that are in, and we tell them we'll kick back into full gear when we're able to. But maybe if we can get lucky here, this COVID thing will be behind us somewhat.
Well, it's the same thing, Sal. It's kind of like, when you go out on hunting, on a metal detecting hunt, there's no guarantee you're going to find anything. And so if you're a member of History Hunt Club, you pay your money and you're gambling a little bit that there's some hunts are going to come along that you want to go to. There's a lot of the hunts I'd love to go on, but I just can't get it scheduled to do. So, It's fine with me. I'll pay my money, and maybe I'll get to go on 1 or 2. But if I don't, that's my fault, not y'all's.
Right. Well, and it does work out that way. And I wouldn't say it's unfair, but if you got a retired person, I do have some folks that show up I see them at quite a few outings, and you know, they like you said, they've got the ability to do it, and that's fine. But I do have people come in and out. I had a gentleman that was in on this one that we're about to have tomorrow, and last minute he had a scheduling conflict. He's a realtor, real nice young man, and luckily, you know, I had a wait list, and then just like that, we had another guy come in to fill his spot, which was great because that way I can get the guy's full refund. You know, I hate for folks to have to miss a hunt and lose money because that'd be insult to injury.
Absolutely.
Well, like I say, you know, that's you know, it is what it is, and I think I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you were on our trip to England, and I promise you that the Mumbles man feels the same way, and so does Danny Graham. That it was boom, boom, boom. Everything was taken care of. We knew what was going on. We knew what, you know, was our part of it, what you were providing.
Right.
It couldn't have been any better. You know,
Right.
and then you told us right up front, I'm not going to promise you're going to find a hammered silver coin. You're not going to find a gold coin. You can't promise that. It's
That's
there. Right. And, you know, it's like anything else. It's how they have their detectors set up. If they got everything discriminated out, they ain't going to find nothing.
And that's right. And unfortunately, that does happen. And I'm not a great teacher when it comes to detectors simply because, honestly, I'm more of the type that just turns it on. And I want one of those Deus 2s also. I think Deus is going to be in for a I tell you what, I'm going to knock on wood, Phil, because I hope this is not the case. But I hope that they don't, with all this shipment delays and everything with international stuff sitting on loading docks. And I hope to goodness that they don't show you this beautiful video and you get all these pre-orders and then they send you one.
Yes.
I hope they send you one.
Yeah, and
they only send you one, Phil. I get it. You know that,
there
right?
you go. You know, I always worry about the same thing because you look at that video, you see what it does.
Oh, it looks great.
You see it's waterproof to 60 feet, and you hear about other detectors leaking, and you're thinking, man, this is going to be the answer. You know, yeah, it's a little more money, but it's worth it if you don't have to worry about a leak issue. So,
yeah. They've done a good job. So I'm going to go ahead and put it out there that they're going to do also a better job at getting these in folks' hands than, I don't want to knock on MindLab because I like MindLab too, than MindLab did with the Equinox. The Equinox was kind of difficult for a while.
It was extremely difficult. I had no problems with the 600, but the 800 was just in such short supply.
That's right.
But here in Florida, if you were just a beach hunter, the 600 would do you just fine. So I sold a load of those because everybody else wanted the 800. So
right. Yeah. And I mean, I guess it kind of got, eventually it came around.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I'm excited about it. Uh-oh. Are y'all got me?
Yeah,
we got you.
We still got you. So Sal, let's talk about equipment a little bit. You're using the regular Deus now, right?
Yeah, so exactly. I'm charging my Deus as we do this call, and I have the Deus with the 11-inch 35 frequency coil, the 9-inch 35 frequency coil, and the elliptical high frequency coil. Okay. 5x10, whatever, 5x9. I like all three coils. I left that little white one in my bag the whole time we were in England, that little elliptical. And hindsight being 2020, I should have put that thing on because Dan, y'all's boy, was using it almost exclusively, and he was tearing it up with that coil.
I know, and he ain't that good.
I mean, he found more. He was getting predictable on finding hammered silver.
Well, I know. It goes to show. Every time we turned around, it was grammar time. You know, that ain't right.
No, but I love the Deus. I love the portability. I carry two full machines. I'm talking about the upper and the lower shafts, actually four coils, two sets of headphones, two remotes, two pinpointers, and all the charging equipment, all in one backpack that I can carry on an airplane.
Yeah, so did I. That's what I took. That's what I took.
I used to use a 30-30. Good luck doing that with a 30-30. I carried on a 30-30 one time, and because the daggum shaft on the lower rod is so long, it looked like I had a rifle barrel sticking out of the backpack.
They don't like that much.
and it's a whole lot heavier than that dais is.
Oh yeah. Yes. I mean, you can talk balance, and it was the 30-30 is well balanced, but it's a difference to put on that dais or put on that 30-30 all day.
Yeah, I
No,
think
ain't
you
that
said
the
all
truth?
day. Absolutely. And you're walking a long ways, I'm sure. It's not like us here on the beach. You're walking a lot of ways on those fields. So I can imagine.
Oh
Are you
yeah.
still there?
I'm
Mr.
here.
Bank? Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, so I'll put you down for a dais too then. It's like everybody wants that. So we got a lot of exciting things coming up with
Well,
new products this year.
save mine for someone else. I've got a special connection, so don't worry about me
Okay.
now.
All right. No worries. No worries. I'm just hoping they come in December.
Yeah, hopefully you get enough. I mean, that's going to be the thing, but that'll reward the folks that asked for one first from you anyway.
Absolutely.
You know,
Sure. For
Yeah.
sure. And Jeff is, yeah, he's got his thumb up and he's pointing at himself. So let's get back to some questions here that have already been sent to me. And Sal, what is your oldest find period? I guess oldest anything. What would that
So
be?
my oldest find from England would have been from England, and it was I think I found 3 different ones over the years, but the working edge, the tip of a Bronze Age bronze axe head, a socket axe, probably 800 BC, somewhere 800 to 1000 BC. The oldest coin, also from England, a Roman silver denarius, about 106 BC, I think it was. The oldest find in America, I would say it would go to Native American objects. So I don't know if that counts for metal detecting. You know, if we're just talking about, and those would be about 9,500 years ago, I guess. But metal detecting, my oldest find in America probably would be some of the stuff from my real early colonial site in Virginia near Jamestown. You know, half of a Queen Elizabeth hammered sixpence. You know, 1570s, probably somewhere in those parts.
Okay, cool.
Now, ask him the question, Phil, because I already know the answer to this.
Okay, how about the gold coin? You found the gold coin?
Yeah. So last half hour of the England hunt, it was optional because sometimes on the last day, and rightly so, everybody wants to get packed and get their stuff cleaned up and get ready for a big long flight home. And I understand, but it was a beautiful day. And so my wife was with us on this tour. Ashley and I came back to after lunch. We came back to the lodge, and we dropped off anybody that wanted to get ready to go. And we said, you know, we're going to go back out for a couple hours if anybody wants to join us. And so Dan, I think, was the only one that joined us. And us 3, we went back out and we hunted for just a couple hours. And we were going to leave at 5 o'clock, 5:30. And my wife had made a funny statement in the car earlier that day. She said, nobody ever finds a great find on the last day of an England hunt. Nobody does. And I told her, or I didn't tell her, I told Dan, I think I said, you know, or I told one of the other guys too earlier in the day, I said, you know, I've seen really good finds on the last day of an England hunt. It could happen anytime. You don't know when it's going to happen. So certainly I didn't expect it. It was just another beep. It was 30 minutes before quitting time, and Dan was down the field over, and then Ashley was up from me about 100 feet. And she was close enough to be in voice shouting distance. But I just got another beep. And quite honestly, I don't even remember what the number was because I wasn't even paying attention. It was just a non-ferrous beep. And I flipped a clod of dirt over, you know, plowed field, easy digging. And I saw covered in dirt what looked like a gold disc and small. And so I called her over before I touched it. And she come over and looked down at it and found it and said, yeah, it looks like a coin. And couldn't tell at that time if it was a hammered gold coin medieval or if it was a modern milled gold coin. It's had some slight bends to it. I could see that. So I also called Dan on the radio. He came over and checked it out, picked it up. We washed it off. Turned out being a 1762 milled, modern by England standards. Okay, gold 1/4 or 1/3. I can't remember. 1/3 guinea, I guess, or 1/4 guinea, something like that. But a pretty small gold coin, about, a little bit bigger than maybe a little smaller around than a nickel, and much thinner, of course. But it had been intentionally bent into an S shape, not extreme bends, but just a real gentle bend on one end in one direction and the other end in the other. And the casual uninformed would think, okay, that must have been a plow hit. But when you've seen that before over and over in England, mostly on silver coins, it's what they call a love token. Not a love token like we think of in the US, where one side of a coin is scratched off and initials are put in it, but a love token where a common coin in the 16s and 1700s was taken and bent in this way, given to your sweetheart. And then they would not spend that coin because they knew it was special, because it was bent like that. It was significant. Now, I always wonder how so many of these daggum things end up in the fields. And my theory, which is just conjecture, is that when they broke up, the gal couldn't stand the guy and she chunked the damn coin in the bushes. Now, maybe that wouldn't make sense if it's a gold coin. I would have just flattened it out and spent it, right?
Yeah.
Why did they lose it?
And it bent.
I'm glad they lost it, though, because I found it.
Okay, so was that your only gold coin?
That was the only gold coin of my hunt. That was only one of 2 gold coins we found in the whole hunt. The group as a whole, we found a good number of hammered silver coins, but we only found 2 gold coins, and one was found earlier on the hunt by a young man by the name of Phil, a really good detectorist, and he found an Addie Damaris Celtic gold coin, which about 45 to 25 BC, that one. So a bit older than mine. And then this was my only gold coin. Yeah, I mean, I had a really lean hunt overall. It just tells you that you got to hunt until it's all done, because if I would have quit before that, my finds pretty slim. I found a couple of hammered silver coins. I found a few little relics, a couple Roman bronzes, and then I found this gold coin. The gold coin makes it look a lot better.
Absolutely.
It's giveaway time.
Yeah,
all right.
So what are we giving away there, Jeff?
Oh, well, Sal is giving 2 books. They're coffee table editions of the Etosha Treasure Adventure. It's really great books.
Right.
The post has been put up, and everybody had to sign up for it on YouTube and on the Facebook group, and they had to use the phrase, I think, Digging Hub puts on the best hunts. And so we have compiled the names, and here's how it works. Everybody knows. Once your name is called, you'll have 3 minutes to identify yourself in either a text or a Facebook Messenger to Phil or myself, the number scrolling along the bottom of the screen. You must say, like, I'm Joe Blow and I'm here. Just put it in the chat, ain't going to cut it. It's got to be text or messenger with your name and you're here. Then you have to email me all your information at treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. That way I can get it to Sal. He can get your books out to you. So
Right.
Listen up, folks. Get your fingers ready, because you got 3 minutes from the time that okay, so at 7:53, it'll be too late. I'll go on to another name. So I'm going to say 2 names, and y'all get ready. All right, Mike Mayo, if you are watching, you have won a book. And John Agans, you have won a book. You got 3 minutes, folks. 7:53. Move on.
Right on. And guys, these books actually are long out of print. I'll give you a little background on these books. The gentleman that wrote these books is deceased now, and he was one of the original Golden Crew members of the Etosha, Pat Klein. And they're long out of print. They're not easy to come by. I was able to get a case of these as part of a little deal I made with Mel Fisher's granddaughter, Nicole. Have y'all had Nicole on the show yet?
No, haven't been able to get a hold of her.
Yeah, she's a great gal, and I bet you she'd be happy to talk with y'all. She's Mel Fisher's granddaughter. She's got treasure in her blood. You ought to try to reach out to Nicole. She's over at the museum in Sebastian, Florida. But
Well,
anyway,
I'm heading there tomorrow.
there you go. Go talk to Nicole. Tell her Sal told you to put her on the show. But
Okay.
I'm a good friend with Nicole. But anyway, they inherited these books, lots of them. And before that, if you wanted this book, I mean, you can even go now and look on Amazon, and they got somebody trying to sell this book for $600. Now, I don't think you can sell your copy for 600, folks. Don't get too excited. But it is a really good book that's out of print. I mean, it's not out there, and it's got some mouth-watering treasure pictures in it. So it's a really nice story of the Atocha. So anyway, so yeah, I'm happy to send them out. I'll get them in a nice box for you guys and send them in the mail when I get back to Mississippi later on this week, Friday.
Jeff, we got Mike Mayo.
We got both winners. They're here. So you guys, what you need to do is you need to email me at treasuretalkshow@gmail.com, your name, address, phone number, and I will get it. As soon as I get it, I'll forward it on to Sal. So when he gets back home, he will send your books out.
Absolutely. And Mike, listen, when you get your book, you have to bring it by the shop and let me see it. So, because I want to see the book. And how about the other person? Did we hear from them yet?
Yep, sure did. John Agins, he's here.
So we got them both. Awesome.
We got them both.
That's sweet. And I know what you mean with those out of print books. You know, there's a lot of reference guides for different things that are out of print. And if you get a copy of it, you're just really lucky to have it.
Right. And I mean, I've got about 20 of them left. So I figured I'd throw 2 to your folks and let them enjoy them. And the other ones I'll just give away on hunts and stuff like that. I might sell a couple, but
well, if you want to,
I just love books.
I do too. I said, if you want to sell one, holler at me later. But I love books too. That to me, there's just the neatest thing to be able to open a book up and identify something. It's just.
Well, why don't y'all do this, Jeff, and you too, Phil. Just Jeff, when you send me those addresses of these folks that won, send me y'all's address too, and I'll mail you one. It's your early Christmas present from me.
Well, thank you, Sal. I appreciate that.
Sal. Absolutely, thank you. So now, Mike, you don't have to bring the book in, but if you want to, I'll look at it too.
Oh, there's something else I want to tell you, Sal, because you know when we were over in England, you toted a shovel all the way across the pond.
Yeah,
and because we were, in shovel dilemma, as so to speak. Well, we got somebody coming up. It's a sponsor of our Blue Spade Society, Excalibur Shovels. And he's not going to be upset with me mentioning this, but he's got something that we're going to debut in the show in January that you're definitely going to want to see. And he makes the best shovels on the face of the earth, bar none, let me tell you. And guess what I got in the mail today, Phil?
Oh, nice.
It got me a digger, a hand digger. I've got this spade it's for the Blue Spade Society. Which, Sal, you need to join because that's for handicapped individuals. And I'm not saying you're handicapped or anything, but I'll send you a little info on it. You can be a great mentor, but great products, aren't they, Phil?
Very nice.
Philip.
All righty.
Excalibur is good stuff, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think I've seen some of that. It looks like it's really good stuff.
It is very good, and
we've got them. Of course, we got them in stock in the shop. So if somebody wants to pick one up, we can do that. But while we still got a little time left, let's keep asking Sal some questions here. So, Sal, what has been your favorite find in your detecting career?
Actually,
without being your wife.
Right, metal detecting. Yeah, metal. I get it. Yeah, it's a tough one. I think one of my, I mean, I don't have a real long memory. I mean, even though if I see the find, I remember, but a lot of my finds are cataloged and put away. But I'll tell you one that stands out for me now is it was 2013, England. And if I've told this story, shut me down and I'll tell a different one. But this particular story I had a group and I had put them on a field, and it goes to show that even as long as I've been doing it and all what I know about the land that we go on in England, I mean, I make horrible decisions too. I decided to take a nap in the van. It was a nice sunny day and it was cold outside, but the sun was out. We had lunch. And so they just went out and hunted in the field, big field. I didn't like the field. So I said, well, I'm going to take a nap. I didn't like it because the one time I had been in it before, I probably hunted too close to the road and I got trash and it left a bad taste in my mouth. Well, have I told this story before to you guys? Does it sound familiar?
I don't remember it.
So then, you know, I woke up about 3 o'clock and I had my radio on. So I heard when they found something here or there, a hammered silver or something. But I woke up from my little 1 to 3 o'clock 2-hour power nap. And I was like, well, I better go out and do something, you know. And so I walked out in the field and I walked pretty deep into the field because I started thinking, well, maybe just if I get away from this road, I won't get this trash again. Well, I got into a little spot. I got a beep and it was a big Roman bronze coin. Not a lot of detail, but a Roman coin. And I always slow down around that because you're like, well, that could have other ancient stuff around. So I started gridding that spot. And it wasn't a lot of signals there, but about 45 minutes later, I got a fibula brooch, a Roman bronze brooch. It's broken, but I knew what it was. So I was excited about that. Well, I had pretty quiet the next 5 or 6 rows that I was working, absolutely nothing. And then I was just doing this thing where you're almost in a daze, you know. I was just like, wasn't even paying attention. I was just swinging and walking this road just like the last row, with nothing on it. And I got a beep and I looked down and on the dirt, just laying there on a little pedestal next to a rock was a small ancient gold coin about as big as my pinky finger. Well, maybe a little bit bigger than my pinky fingernail. And it had a pony on it. It had a horse on it. It was a Celtic gold quarter stater. Beautiful rose gold, had dirt in all the recesses, but the rain had washed some of it clean. So I just sat there and called everybody on the radio. And some of the guys were aggravated. They didn't come because they knew I had just been napping for the last 2 hours and I walked out on a gold coin. But the other guys came and took pictures of it. We studied it for a while and then picked it up and got it on video and whatever. And the back was as beautiful as the front. It had like sheaves of wheat on it in a circle. Or no, sorry. It turned out to be a flower of some sort. I thought it was sheaves of wheat. But anyway, it was about a 45 BC gold coin. And I ended up getting it out of export. You know, it took a couple years or a year, I guess, before I got it back. But I got it back. And I've got it in my collection, but I kind of like that one because I didn't even have to dig for it. And it's amazing, you know, what a big deep plow can do to bring up something that old to the surface.
Yeah, it's an incredible story. That's neat when you find it laying right on top of the ground.
I love that Indian stuff or coins, whatever. But, you know, it's even made more impressive when you think, I mean, the size of this field alone, because some of these fields now, Jeff knows this because he saw some of them. Some of these fields are ginormous. This field was probably easily a 200-acre field, plowed field. So, you know, you talk about a needle in a haystack. I mean, you know, and then we hunted around that spot the rest of the day and didn't find much of anything else. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, Sal, I already just forwarded the 2 guys, 2 winners emails to you, their information. Phil will send me his home address, and then I'll forward those to you tomorrow.
That's fine. And then, like, I get back Friday, and I'll get them in the mail maybe Saturday or Monday. I'll get all 4 books in the mail to y'all, and y'all enjoy them.
Absolutely.
We certainly will. We will. So you told me to contact Nicole down at the Sebastian Museum, right?
Yeah, if you go see Nicole, you see if she's there. Hopefully she's there. You tell her that you just got back from England with Sal and that he told you to come see her and that to be on your talk show. And she'd love it, I bet. She'd do it.
Yeah, we're going to be there. We're going to be hunting with Terry Shannon and Captain Fizz.
There you go.
I'm doing a special treasure tales with them Thursday night, so that ought to be a hoot.
You
And then
might
I think
be in for some luck. There's a cut work in there. I hear you better get over there. There's some beach cuts happening right now.
well, that's right. That Terry's going to tell me where to go on the beach, I hope. But they're Saturday. They're going to do something at the museum, Terry and Fizz. So we'll be over there probably Saturday afternoon. I'll look her up.
Oh, good. Oh, that's right. She's doing a little. Kelly Co's doing something there with her too. I think there may be some treasure hunting involved. You might, if you get over there and you dig up some Civil War bullets. Nicole got those from me.
Okay.
For this little event she's doing. Yeah, I think that's what that is. Yep.
Well, we don't care about Calico. We like Fizz and Terry, but you know.
Yeah, we like Myers.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Phil, did you bleep me out? Did you bleep me out when I said it?
We did a 3-second.
Yeah, we're going to erase that. You know, put the.
Well,
Phil, we're out of time, dude.
Yes, we are. So listen, Sal, thank you for coming on today, and thank you for the books, our books, and also the books of the prize winner. And of course, thank you, Jocelyn, for handing me the questions, and thank you, Jeff. And Jeff, you're going to be doing Treasure Tales from Sebastian, then, right?
Yep, Sebastian, Florida. We're hosting a dinner in the honor of Terry Shannon and Captain Carl Fismer. So awesome. Cocktails at 6, dinner at 7, Treasure Tales at 8. And
nice.
So it's going to be a hoot. And, you know, some of the Sal, Grammar Time, Danny Graham is going to be along with us. The Mumbles Man, Tim Naylor is going to be there, and a couple others. So it's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. We're going to go over to the museum, and I'm going to see if I'm always on the lookout for good guests. So, and that's why we got you, Sal, because you're a good guest. You're a great guy.
Well,
we appreciate you so much.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, and happy hunting there in Virginia. Hopefully you'll find a lot of Confederate stuff.
All right, boys, I'll let you know. And thank y'all for having me, and thanks for all the kind words. I appreciate it. Y'all take care.
All right. You tell Ashley we said hey.
I will.
All
righty.
We'll see you.
All right, Phil. I will talk to you tomorrow.
All right, dig deeper.
All right, guys. Take care.